Hello. So, just to be totally honest with you guys, uh, I spent 2.5 weeks platinuming Spider-Man. Both of them. Pain. So instead of making like a good video with like good animation and like the part 2 that I was going to make, I thought I'd make a little short video to hold you guys over until that is out. Now, this isn't going to be a short video by any means, but in terms of, for me, it'll be short to make. You like the green screen? Hope I'm standing in the right spot. There's like one spot that I can stand where it doesn't show this and it doesn't show this. So we're going to go over my thoughts for Spider-Man 2, the video game. We're going to go over suits, some possible story stuff, and obviously my favorite aspect. Well, I think I already said the suits. And maybe some of their suit powers. Out of all of the suits from the first game, there's only a couple that I want. I want, specifically from the first game, the original advanced suit, as well as the original classic suit. Now, I would like for them to add some more damaged versions of the suits, and especially with the color variants, they could do that. But, you know. As for any of the other suits from the first game, I really only want those two. Maybe the Ben Reilly suit, either one of them or both. And also, not the Sam Raimi suit, not the Amazing suit, but the Peter 1 suit from No Way Home, specifically the Far From Home suit. There's only one other suit there, but this is I can take it or leave it. And that would be the, of course, Into the Spider-Verse Spider-Man suit. Now, to go along with that, I would like for him to also have the low frame rate mode that Miles had in his game, but it's not necessary, but it really is. Anyway, I would love for that to be in the game for Peter and Miles, just as maybe an option you can turn on just in the settings maybe. As well as that, I would like for them to add the pink robe from Across the Spider-Verse for Peter. Now, if they want to include the mask because they are weird about that, cool, fine, whatever. So from the first game, that's essentially what I want. And, some additions wherein. For additional suits new to this game, there's only a handful that I really actually want. Of course, I would love for them to do, like I said, the Across the Spider-Verse Peter, as well as the Across the Spider-Verse 2099. I know I didn't say I wanted 2099 earlier, because I wanted this version of him. As much as I like the other one, it's not as good. It's kind of bland, and it doesn't have the cape. So unless they're going to bring the cape, I don't want it. Now, I would also really like to see an Avengers-style uniform for him. This doesn't need to be the one from the Avengers game or anything, but I would love to see any sort of uniform, maybe something along the lines of what they had in Endgame. I know he wasn't in that movie for that segment of the movie, but some sort of uniform would be cool. Also, Spider Cop. What? Where was Spider Cop in the DLC? Where? Put him in the game. They made him in the comic. Put him in the game. His suit power can be a gun. Just put it in the game. I don't even care what the suit power is. Just put it in it could just not have a suit power. That's totally fine with me. Now, moving on to the symbiote side of things for Peter. It is, in my humble opinion, that you'll be able to switch back and forth between the Venom symbiote and not. Now, that could be just totally wrong. You might not even be able to do that in the game. But if you can, then, of course, you got to have some symbiote suits. By the way, if they don't have that, then I have no idea what they're going to do post-game. So there's a couple suits that I want for this, and that would be, number one, the one from, of course, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. Now, that one's not that hard of a grasp. Everybody kind of seems to probably want that. But I would also like to see some some of the ones for the concept of Tom Holland's. Now, if we're getting his Spider-Man 4 and he's going to become Venom in that movie, then maybe wait till that comes out. But, however, otherwise, no. Just put it in. I'd also like, of course, to see the one from Spectacular Spider-Man. I know I didn't mention this earlier, but a lot of the animated versions of Spider-Man have really cool designs, even if their shows suck. But let's not get a little crazy. Let's talk about Miles now.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out!
Now, Miles doesn't have as many suits as Peter, and I don't know as much about Miles in terms of like all the different costumes he's had, but I do know there is the I think it's the 10th anniversary suit for him, or something along those lines, that came out pretty recently, and it's him in like a hoodie, and I like that one a lot. I would also like to see something a little bit more, into the Spider-Verse with the hood. Something like that would be really cool, as well as the Into the Spider-Verse training suit with the cape, obviously. Now, there's one other suit. Captain America, of course, has a Spider-Man version because Miles has been like every character up until this point. And you can actually add a bunch of those if you would like. For returning suits for Miles, however, I would really like for them to bring back the classic suit, the bodega suit, and, of course, the track suit. Now, there's one other suit from that game that I would like for them to bring back, and that is only because I think they should bring back both of these suits from the original game, but not for their original purpose. I think both characters should get their 100% suits from the games, but not as 100% rewards. They should be relatively easy to obtain, in fact, in my opinion. Of course, with the Miles one, that could just be a recolor for the classic suit, seeing as they're doing colored versions. But the Peter one would have to be its own suit, of course. But instead of that, I think it would be pretty cool if they added their own exclusive new 100% rewards. What would they be? Well, I've had a couple of options. You could have the Cosmic Spider-Mans as both of their 100% rewards, and that would be pretty interesting and definitely would be really cool. I also think for Peter, you could have a classic symbiote design as the 100% reward, but that might not be, good for the 100% reward. That might be its own skin beforehand. You could also make Carnage as one of theirs, or the Venom design shrunken down to fit Spider-Man. Now, for the 100% rewards in this game, I think it would be pretty sweet if it was separated between Peter and Miles. So there are missions that both of them can do, such as the Taskmaster missions or, the crime camps and all of that stuff. But there's specific little missions that only Peter can do and only Miles can do. Like the Prowler mission. If there was a Prowler kind of mission, Miles would get that. Something along those lines would be pretty sweet. Now, I kind of forgot to record this part, but essentially there's one other type of suit that I want to see in this game, and that is the villain suit. If you don't know, in both of the other Insomniac Spider-Man games, there is at least one, but in the first one there are two, suits that reference the main villain of the game. In the first game, there's one for Mr. Negative, who is the main villain for the first half of the game, and there's the Anti-Ock suit, which is a direct reference to Doc Ock's new design in this game. Now, in the second game with Miles, there was one suit because there was only one main villain, and that is, of course, the Programmable Matter suit. Now, I wish it would have had come with a purple suit version, just because the Tinkerer is purple. But anyway, essentially the exact same thing I'm talking about. Of course, Peter's going to have a symbiote suit, and I think Miles should also have some sort of symbiote suit that doesn't have any gameplay differences, except for maybe a suit power. Are we going to get a Kraven suit? Are we going to get some kind of other suit for whatever villains they haven't shown us yet? Who knows? But something to go along with that would be pretty nice. And not just the symbiote, because they're obviously giving us symbiotes. Obviously. Anyway, I hope you guys like this little video. It didn't take me that long to make this, but next, I promise it will be the part 2 for the Marvel vs. DC. This time, talking about the DC characters. Make sure you eat your celery, and I'll see ya later. Peace.